94. Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant and Jimmy Page reunited to tape 2 days of acoustic performances for an edition of MTV Unplugged.
Nobody's slow but mine.
I'm Brandon Brooks.
Nobody's fault but mine.
And that's Rewind.
Long summer days call for extra hands. Hire fast with Indeed. Their hiring solution helps attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credits.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. You know, they serve members with more than just electricity. Their community outreach team works with schools, parents, and students to provide engaging and unique learning experiences. Find out more at mte.com. They've been serving to make life better since 1936. Well, we not only have one Rutherford County School Board member here today, we have two. The board chair, Tammy Sharp, been with us the last several months, and you finally brought in another person to talk, right?
I told her you would be gentle.
Yeah, we try. Katie Darby is here as well. Katie, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Glad you could come in. Man, school year, Tammy, it seems like once we got rolling, it's just been boom, full steam ahead everywhere.
We had a few weeks off during the summer, and then it's like once school started, it's been a fast run, hair on fire run.
A lot of great things happening this week. I know you had not only your school board meeting last night, but yesterday was a really big day for three of our Rutherford County high schools. I know it's been a long time coming, and it was a big celebration to mark the accomplishments that are coming.
It is very historic to have three groundbreakings in one day, much less 1 year. So Smyrna, Oakland, and Riverdale, the annexes, hopefully we're going to be open in 25 or 26, are on their way. And if everything goes perfect, we'll get the kids that are on those campuses out of the portables and make the campus safer.
Right. So very familiar with Oakland and Riverdale and kind of where this is going, but it pretty much, for those who have been to those campuses, there's kind of a courtyard area in between, like the main building and the gym area, and then you've got the annex. All of this is going to be tied together somehow, right?
It's all going to be tied together, and it kind of squares that middle up and puts some like hallways to go to the other building together, so the students don't have to go outside. So it's going to be good for Oakland and Riverdale. Smyrna's a little bit different as far as the layout because it's a different school. But Smyrna has its own challenges as well because at the same time as the annex being built, they're having the sports facility in the back that Smyrna Ready Mix and Dow Smith donated money to have that right at $5 million sports facility to be built.
Mm-hmm. And so that's going on along with the other construction.
Yes.
So that is very interesting to see everything that's going on there. Now, this question, because if you know the Oakland and Riverdale campuses, there's parking and there's a little street that goes back to some of the athletic complexes that is between the main building and the annex. So will those be closed, or will there be some way to get over to the annex from the main building? How's that going to work?
I believe so. They had a huge picture, an aerial picture of it yesterday, but I believe so.
There's kind of like a breezeway of what I've seen.
Right.
Okay.
And I believe they're going to move the parking a little bit closer to the road in the front. So, even though you may not have students or staff, we still have to, because of codes, have parking, even if they're not going to be used. So we still have to have that.
Well, and when you're doing this at the same time on three different projects, I mean, Oakland and Riverdale aren't the same. I mean, their campuses are a little bit different, even though the overall, I guess, thumbnail sketch is the same. But they utilize maybe some areas differently at the two schools.
They are, and with most of our schools that are built at the same time or around the same time, the first one that was built, we learn, new tricks of the trade or something like that, and so that's adjusted in the next build.
Well, so you had three groundbreakings on the same day. You went to all three?
Same day.
Wow. Busy.
Same day. Yes, hottest day.
Oh, yeah.
Hottest day, so far. But we all survived.
Well, I did want to also mention as well, and let both of you kind of sound off on this, but you were telling me about this, and I read a story on our website, which we posted last night pretty late, but Rutherford County Schools has earned a level 5 ranking for its composite score and in every single subject for student academic growth, as the Tennessee Department of Education made that announcement. That's pretty good stuff there.
It is. We're very, very proud. Dr. Sullivan has been wonderful to work with. I think he is really striving to keep our district on the top and keep us growing in the right direction.
He actually was quoted here by saying student academic growth is one of our core focus areas, and I'm proud to see that pay off the hard work of the administrators, teachers, students, and parents. We're one of the largest districts in Tennessee and in the country, and it's phenomenal for our schools to continue performing at this level. So, I mean, that does say a lot, Tammy, about the size of this area, and because you can look at school districts that are maybe similar in size to ours, and there are lots of challenges that we don't seem to have. And I know we have plenty, but not in some of these areas.
We do have opportunities, but depending on how you measure it, our school system is the 89th or the 92nd largest school district in the United States. So we're big.
Yeah.
And people, I get it, because you just drive through, most people stay within 5 miles of their home and they see what's in that area. But we're large, and we've got 7,000 more students coming between now and 2026.
I guess this information is taken from the TCAP scores and that kind of thing, and that's how the Department of Education does the awarding of levels.
It is, and you have to have so much growth in each. There's 4 different categories: ELA, math, science, and history, right? So
and
you have
ELA
to have
is
English language arts. I'm sorry, there's a lot of acronyms. That you have to score so much improvement in those categories to even get to a level 5. So I think us not being closed for COVID, we did experience some learning loss, but not as much. And Dr. Sullivan, before he came in as superintendent, he was over curriculum and instruction. Now we have Dr. Chastain, and she's phenomenal as well. She's super, super smart. But we're just thrilled. I mean, we've had a great first year with Dr. Sullivan.
Katie, I would just hearing Tammy mention ELA, or English Language Arts, when you think about the TCAP scores, and this is for every student, and those students who maybe this English is not their first language, they're still taking this exam and all, and so and we have a lot of students who English is not their first language. So I mean, to be able to have accomplishments like that is pretty big for our school system.
It is. It says a lot about our teachers, our administrators, our EAs, and we are always looking for more of our ELL teachers. We do have a large Spanish-speaking population. We also have a very large Arabic-speaking population. So we really are striving to find new and inventive ways to help. I know Board Member Rosales was out helping with some translation in terms of the free and reduced lunch forms, because there are a lot of instances where even if the children speak English, the parents don't.
Right.
So that's been a challenge too, but we are really, we really try to rise to the occasion, and I think we're doing a great job.
I cannot remember the number, and I wish that I could, but we were last year doing a basketball game at Smyrna, and Sherry Sutherland was just really nice to show us some of the improvements that they've been making on the inside. But one of the things that she mentioned, and this isn't the number, I don't think, but it was a very high number. It was like they have 40 different languages spoken in the school or something like that. I mean, it was just phenomenal to wrap your head around such a number like that.
The last number that I heard of Smyrna Middle was 122 different language dialects.
Wow.
Yes.
So
122.
And so hats off to our teachers who are doing just great work. And I know the school, this is a reflection of the last school year, I guess, this
Yes.
level 5 recognition.
Yes.
Well, great. Anything else you want to say about that? I mean, I know you all have to be awfully proud of that.
We are, absolutely.
this coming out the same day as you do groundbreaking, everything's just, popping up daisies right now.
It is. And we're trying our best to keep it that way.
We've got Rutherford County School Board Chair Tammy Sharp with us, member Katie Darby here as well. And Katie, where is your zone? Kind of give us an idea of what, because I think we think of zones and then commission districts, and commission districts make up zones, and it gets a little weird. So kind of where's your area?
I am the representative for Zone 4, which is kind of an odd zone. It's rather large, and it kind of expands in areas you might not think of. So I cover the schools of Stewart's Creek, Rocky Fork, Rock Springs, Eagleville, Rockvale. So it's a pretty large district.
So you're from the north end to the
north to the south.
North to the south, yeah. Just kind of got that whole corner there. I know that there was something really exciting going on at Thurman Francis that you wanted to talk to us about.
So one of the things that is near and dear to my heart are the arts. I was a arts magnet student myself down in South Florida, have been in theater since I was 7, and it was a huge part of my life. So it's very near and dear to my heart. And I just think it's a shame that our one true art school does not have a true auditorium. And so I am working really hard to try to find some private funding. The school system is tasked right now, the 3 groundbreakings. We've got the Beatty property, which will be building a elementary and middle school eventually. So not enough money to go around. So we're kind of looking for private funding maybe to help get that off the ground and running. If you've ever been to a performance at Thurman Francis, it's kind of sad. The performances are great, but those students that have this heart and passion for arts are having to perform partially on a stage and partially on the floor, and they're setting up folding chairs in the gym. It's just a very awkward scenario. And we've been fortunate enough that with our newer schools, we've been able to build them with new auditoriums, but our one true art school still doesn't have one. So that's kind of my mission this year, is to try and find some private funding to get that done. Obviously,
there's a place to put that within the school grounds.
There is.
You've already done your homework on that, I'm sure. So that's interesting. So our middle schools that have been built, all of those middle schools that have been built after, they've all got an auditorium.
Yes.
And then all your high schools, and then Central Magnet, they have an auditorium obviously in there. So, but Thurman Francis, no auditorium, and they're the Arts Academy. So that's kind of what you're kind of getting at. It's
Correct.
like, doesn't make a lot of sense there, right?
Correct.
So you mentioned private funding, because we talked about the ribbon cuttings for 3 schools and what's coming and the Beatty farm, so I guess going to ask for more money from the county is one of those things where you have to pick and choose. So how are you hoping to accomplish this with businesses? What can they do? Can they reach out to contact you, say, hey, I'll help? What kind of campaign are you looking at?
They can absolutely reach out to me. I have crafted a letter that I have started sending to some of our local companies. I'm also looking at companies like Gibson, which is in Nashville, but completely related to the arts with guitars and such. So we're really looking for anybody that's willing to step in and help. Anything we can do that is something we don't have to go to the county commission and the taxpayers for. And it's going to be very beneficial to our area. Our area already has a draw with academics and sports, and the arts is a piece of that too, that I think sometimes gets a little overlooked.
So this auditorium, I'm trying to think of some of the many things that could be there, but obviously plays, choir can do performances there. There were just really a lot of areas that you could use that auditorium for.
So Thurman Francis does something that they call Artists in Action, that they do once a quarter, where they give their students the opportunity to showcase the things that they've been working on. Mm-hmm. So we have fine arts and performing arts both. So we have an art program, we have strings and band and theater and musicals. So right now they're having to sit some of those kids on the stage, some on the floor, and the parents are sitting up in the bleachers when there's room, because we're also housing the students who are viewing this on the bleachers as well. So it would create a great space to be able to do these things that Thurman Francis is currently doing on a regular basis. They're making great use of the space they have. It's just not really very functional, and it doesn't work very well, especially when you're trying to teach these kids how to properly perform in these spaces when they don't have the proper place to perform.
Sure.
So
Makes a lot of sense. So where are you on this? It's obviously more than just an idea if you're already soliciting dollars for that.
I have talked to Mr. Lee at Central Office about it, and we have a rough estimate of about $5 million for the auditorium. So right now my plan is I would love to reach out to ICEE in Laverne to see if they would like to even just sponsor the concession portion of the auditorium. And other than that, I just finished crafting that letter and just started sending it out last week. So it's all very new, but we do have a price point that we're looking for. We're totally open to naming, Gibson Arts Auditorium at Thurman Francis, Nissan Arts Auditorium at Francis, and just really looking to partner with people locally, those businesses that have been very supportive of Rutherford County Schools. We're just looking for a little bit more.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, as we're growing, those needs are obviously going to continue to grow, and so what a great opportunity for those kids. And I'm sure that they would be just over the moon to be able to have a facility like that. So that's pretty awesome. You can find Katie on the Rutherford County Schools website and all her contact information. You can call the central office. I'm sure they can get a message to Katie as well about that. I want to thank you both for joining us this morning, and it's been a big week. It's been fun.
It's been fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
So much.
Our conversation this morning with Rutherford County School Board Chair Tammy Sharp and member Katie Darby. If you missed part of that, came in a bit late, want to know about the groundbreakings that took place, we talked about that early on, well, check the podcast. It's at WGNSradio.com or wherever you listen to audio, Spotify, iTunes, all those places, and on YouTube. Search out News Radio WGNS.
Hello, friends. Lenny Farmer and Heirs Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care of families who were totally caught off